Hello, everybody. My name is Glenn. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Making Money Work for Regular People. I think I finally got my intro down after this is going to be the third episode. Um, the other two episodes, I've been mostly talking about my personal work life to some extent, and it might carry on into this episode. But um, today I want to talk about are you your job? Are you your job? Um, and the reason to kind of frame it a little bit, the reason I'm talking about I asked that question is because how we're performing at our jobs, how how we feel when we come to our jobs every single day often affects our home lives. Even though we're not supposed to bring work home, but let's be honest, it's almost impossible to not bring work home when your work pays the bills. You know, I don't know about you, but work still makes up a significant amount of my income. And I'm pretty sure that in your case, for most of the audience or the audience to be, I'm sorry, my friends to be, I believe that's the case for you as well. And so, um, I used to say things like, you know what, forget that job. That job ain't me. My real life is this. But is that even true? And just, I try to think critically about everything in life. And I start questioning like some of my own personal beliefs. And the answer is if your job is paying your bills, which is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? If you're at a good job and you get along with everybody and the job gets along with you and you have a great management team or you're part of management and and so on and so forth, and you pretty much are able to, you have a career fit that's just right for you and everything. And not to say that there isn't tougher days at your job, but for the most part, your job allows you to be who you are. And oh wow, I got to cover this up. I'm gonna sit up a little bit. And your job allows you to be who you are, and your job accepts you for who you are, and is reasonable in executing its policies and things of that nature, and has developed you. Then you're in a good place. You're at the right place. Okay, but are you your job? And a lot of us are, including myself. Even though, to be quite frank, I'm on a performance improvement plan, which, I've said before, a performance improvement plan. Oh, wow, I can't speak today. A performance improvement plan is simply, the last step to get you right out the door. I've only seen because I've been on I've been on a performance improvement plan at another job, actually unfairly. Like I was actually performing, and I was actually being told I was doing a good job, and then all of a sudden, here's a performance improvement plan because, the guy was jealous of, my lifestyle at that time. I just put it that way, Won't get into names or, people involved or anything like that, but let's just say that, he had a pretty good reason to be envious of me and didn't necessarily keep that quiet. So, but in this performance improvement plan, you know, back then, I was really surprised because it actually had a plan for improving my performance. It actually did. Like, it had, different steps such as, shadowing and going over certain issues that come along in the line of business that I was working at the time. And I was like really, I mean, I still know that it was a plan to fire me, but I'm no dummy. And so I knew what I had to do to improve my performance, what I had to work on and everything. And like, it was actual coaching involved. And, no, I wasn't, you know what? I lied. I wasn't on a, performance improvement plan. I was on a coaching plan for about 2 weeks that would lead to a PIP if I didn't straighten up, and that PIP was going to last for 6 months. And that's why I was saying in my last video that in a way my current PIP is decent, even though it has no actual intention of improving my performance, right? But it's only 30 days. And so I think it's just really tough to stay on a performance improvement plan for 6 months. It really is. Unless you just become like a habitual high performer. And I was a veteran. That's another thing. I was, I was like, I had been working there for about 3 years at that point. So like, I was an old dog that knew all the nuances, the tricks, and everything that I had to do. It was a totally different situation from where I am today, where I'm practically still kind of new. I've only been at this job for 4 months, going into my 5th month. If I'm not canned like that tuna, who knows? On January 3rd, I might be Starkist. I might be Starfish. I might be Chicken in the Sea. I may even be Bush's Baked Beans, for all we know. But like I said, um, one of my performance metrics improved, tremendously, as of December 17th today. But then there's another, aspect that I need to buckle down and focus on as well. So, but even in my struggling state, I've said all that to say this, that, I realize I am my job. And, it's no secret that, from September, October, November, I've been struggling greatly, hugely, bigly. Okay, so it's no secret, right? And so I wasn't necessarily surprised about being put on a PIP. I was actually forewarned, previously, but I just wasn't able to get my performance up there in time to avoid the PIP. And so now, um, the dilemma that I'm facing now is, well, yeah, that it's very likely that I'm going to be canned. You know what I'm saying? But but getting back to what I was saying, September, October, November, it was no secret that I was struggling. Um, in particular, in October and November, like and it's the same thing. Like leadership has to be stronger at a lot of these companies because a lot of times you have managers who don't want to offend, who don't want to um, potentially catch a HR case for rubbing somebody the wrong way. And I'm talking about mentally. I'm not talking about in physical, uh, creepy standpoint. Where you got an old man like, "Hey, grab a bite." Anyway, no, just they don't want to because they got to eat too. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they have a tough job. They're trying to, protect their job in any way they can, and so they'll just make you feel good and say, "Oh, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job." But in my case, just looking back, um, I feel like I felt like in September there needed to be more of a emphasis on a certain aspect of my job. On the doing it right, on the errors and things of that nature. Um, I didn't really until I started requesting certain things like I started requesting meetings with my manager, and it kind of just turned into a weekly thing where we would go over my errors and everything because I needed to understand desperately, where I'm going wrong at and how I can improve that. You know what I'm saying? And basically, I was doing so bad that it took 6 weeks of these meetings and going over all my errors. Like that's how many errors I was creating for myself. Um, and it took all this time to get to a point now where I can now pretty much do my job in a efficient manner, as far as like errors went. Okay. But like I said, during September, October, November, it was no secret. And me struggling, me not performing my job up to par, up to task. Damn, that spot is really irritating me. But me, not perform my job up to task. Sorry, I'm just kind of rude. Was really affecting me emotionally. Simply because I know as a man who's self-aware and everything, if I'm underperforming for a long enough period of time, I'm going to lose my job. You know what I'm saying? At some point, it's going to become a problem. And so I'm always self-aware at first. But when you're new and everything, it doesn't really click to you as to, okay, what should I do about this? How should I take, you know, a certain approach? In fact, what happened? What led me to? What happened was I went to a friend of mine, same one um, who got me a job and everything. And she asked me, like, have you tried, talking to your manager about how you feel? And I'm like, no, but I think that, that should be on my list of priorities at this point because I'm not getting any better. You know, my friend can only help out so much as a coworker when she has her own priorities as well. But my manager's job is to be there for me. So we set up some time. We had some video conferences. And like at first it was just, I'm like, damn, like at first, because I wasn't getting it, because it didn't appear that it was helping any, you know, it's just me coming back, every week with a different set of problems or a different set of errors. I just felt like, at first, I just felt like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. But then, because of the results I've had this month, I'm like, damn, I just wish I had, went to her maybe in, sometime in mid-October. I'm sorry, sometime in mid-September, I mean. Because I probably could have avoided this whole PIP thing in the first place. And, had I just taken these issues head on, like right from the start. Part of my problem is I didn't know, at least early on, I didn't know that I was just not getting it until the results came back. Oh man, and and I'm going to do a series of episodes on job preparation, um, decorum, and things of that nature because I think a lot of people really overlook those aspects of professionalism. And I know this is the show called Making Money Work for Regular People, but there's layers to that, right? And trust me, it's definitely going to get even deeper and deeper and deeper as I record more and more episodes, because I want all my friends to have all this good information that they don't even really think about or realize on a daily basis, And please understand that this has been a concept that's been in my brain for over a year. Like if I show you like my work, because like initially I was going to introduce a series of episodes that I was going to create an audio book out of, and I wasn't going to record my face at all. And I still may do this, but like the reason why I'm recording right now, before I've gotten that whole audiobook thing prepared, um, because I still have the material. It's halfway done. I haven't recorded though. But as far as like, it's real scripted, and as far as like the actual audiobook and things of that nature, it's there. I can get to it at any time, although I think I'm going to be getting to it sooner than later, especially if I'm getting canned like Campbell Soup. If I'm Campbell Soup January 3rd, then you already know I'm going to get back to, work and, well, working on my audiobook and stuff like that. And I'm going to upload it on YouTube and other channels, other places for free, because I just feel like the public needs this information. So I've been talking about, and it's funny because I was talking about the idea of job security is really an illusion, like way back since last year, because like I said, I started like writing treatments and stuff for it, last year. I just happened to get sick earlier this year, and it was just, I got discouraged as well because of that, because I just, I got so sick earlier this year that, that all I wanted to do was sleep, day in, day out. I just couldn't do nothing to sleep. But now, obviously, I'm a lot more encouraged to do this. I don't like wasting time. I felt like I wasted over a year by not completing this project. Okay. There was episodes I was supposed to record this year, and yet I'm only on episode number 3. In addition to that audio book, so that was going to be a special playlist. And I'm still going to release it, but I don't know. I just feel like there's something in me that I need to talk to my friends about, which is you, and I just need to get all this off my chest. So it's well within the concept of the show. Just to give you like a idea of the direction that I want to head into. I definitely want to get into talking about the stock market and the cryptocurrency market. Not as an expert, because I'm not an expert, not a financial advisor or any of that nature. So I'm not speaking as an expert, but more in a conversational sense, where we could talk about what these things actually mean to greater society and where we fit in this equation. Even though cryptocurrency is mostly manipulated by billionaires, but so is the stock market. But yet, those are not reasons why we shouldn't participate. In fact, I feel like it's imperative that we do participate in investing in cryptocurrencies, in investing in the stock market. Of course, I prefer the stock market over cryptocurrencies, but I don't see why we can't invest in both. But I digress. And like and just some of the financial topics that you're not going to see talked about on CNBC. You know, because regular people is my audience. People who are considered middle class, who are considered working class, who are considered poor. That's my audience. Although more of my audience is probably in the working to middle class, simply because poor people have a set of challenges that they have to overcome in order to get to the point where they can get to investing, or they basically have to make up their minds to invest very small amounts over the course, whatever they can over the course of years, which is pretty much the same premise that we have to follow as people who are from the working class and from the middle class. But what it means to be poor is something totally different that most people are just misguided on, or even, and then a lot of poor people also have challenges that keep them from even being able to even be in the right mind frame to think about the future. They're thinking about today, because you know because things are real. Things are real, when you poor, and when you have $20 in your pocket, and Popeye's chicken is not an option. You when you only have $20 in your pocket, you can't go to Popeye's chicken. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to Food for Less or to Save a Lot, and basically buy everything that's 99 cents. Mostly processed food. Yes. Everything that's, I'm gonna say, under $3, which is not much these days. Given the current issues with inflation that we're experiencing. That's what it means to be poor. Whereas if you middle class, you don't have enough to be rich. That's the frustrating part about being middle class. You don't make enough money to be rich. You make enough money to have a few choices, and as to whether or not, and mostly it's whether or not to settle versus whether or not to make a few sacrifices so you can, get some real money. That's struggle being middle class, and then whatever, and then you're still very sensitive to life circumstances. For instance, if you lose a job, if you get laid off from a job, if a real big medical bill creeps up in your life, like you know, you're screwed for that moment a lot of times. So we're walking around hoping that we don't get sick, hoping that we don't get hospitalized, things of that nature. So, yes, so that's just to give you a little idea as to the direction of the show, with some current events, current topics, things that are trending, things that are even viral, those kinds of, along with a little bit of common sense, social commentary. But yeah. So, getting back to my question, are you your job? And when your job, I know it sound right, but when you identify with any old job, with your job, and most of us do. I mean, we can't help it. Although, if we're struggling, we may want to think about Plan B. At least start thinking about it. Unfortunately, this set of circumstances happened in the fourth quarter of the year, and I'm probably not going to get anything that's worth talking about until February or March. Just trying to be real. And so, that's letting me know right there that it is imperative that I use this time wisely. And I'm in a weird place right now as far as work, because there's a real possibility that I won't get canned on the third. But if I'm telling y'all, then okay, I gotta really pick up the pace on my job search. And then in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to make extra money, doing things that I'm either pretty good at, or a combination of I'm pretty good at but don't necessarily like. For instance, I might start doing audio book recordings and things of that nature. And I might turn my computer into a call center as well to make ends meet. I don't know yet, but like what I do know is I'm going to have a bunch of extra time, and so I'm going to like really get this channel going. Where I have enough recordings that I'm gonna say by the time I'm working, I'm going to have enough content going where I have no other choice but to record, whether I have a job or not. That's just what it is. And so I've been wanting to make friends for quite a long time, and now, this is my opportunity. And so, in saying, I'm just going to conclude with, even though you are your job, don't allow your job, especially if it's not, especially when it's unclear whether or not you have a future there. Don't allow it to cloud your thinking to the point where you neglect other things that you want to do. And I know that I'm sounding hypocritical here, because I allowed my own circumstances as well as a job to keep me from working on my concept for this show that I've thought of a year ago. Don't let this happen to you. Figure out who you are, and like if you're at a job that's, I don't know, that's going to employ you for 40 years, like a government job, that is wonderful. I had a government job before, but I only had a temporary assignment with them, and so as a result, I only was able to get 2 years out of that. But if I could have gotten a permanent job, out of that, because it felt like I was coming to work to my second family every day. So if I could have, if there was a way to have hired me permanently or create a position, whatever, um, then I would still be there. But that was the age of Obama, the weakest president in modern times. You know, he did not govern when he was president. He was good media wise. He was good at self promotion. But you know what? I'm not gonna get into. I've already gotten too far into my politics. Um, my political perspective. So, with that being said, um, if you don't know who you are beyond your job, figure out who you are. Figure out what makes you tick. Most importantly, figure out what you don't want to regret when you're close to death and you're just laying there on your bed looking back on your life. And that's it. That's all. Thank you for tuning in to the show. And if you enjoyed any of my content, please consider being my friend and hitting the subscribe button and that bell and whatever else YouTube might have by the time this video is actually available to be consumed. Thank you so much.